Dwarven Moss presents a Dungeons & Dragons actual play of The Curse of Strahd.
Welcome back to Dwarven Moss.
Oh, thank you.
Chapter 4 of our Curse of Strahd campaign.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Yes.
Wendell and Boren,
Oh, yeah.
you are currently on your way to Death House, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, of course.
Because
women.
the Vistani women.
That's right.
We talked to the Vistani women.
The 3 Vistani women at Blood on the
Blood on
Vine
the Vine.
warned you of your wounds.
Right.
One said they could help if you clear out the tenants of the Death House.
And if we don't, I guess we're going to be turning into werewolves.
Lycanthropes.
Aye.
That's right.
There you go. That's a jinx on Tom.
So you went to Bildrace Mercantile Exchange to prep and get Wendell some armor.
Bildry.
But Wendell, what happened there?
Yay. What? Yeah, what the? You can conjure up all these things, but this friggin' axe you're carrying around is...
We've learned that Wendell's axe feeds on violence and took control of Wendell in a sense.
Yeah.
And Bildrace's overpriced armor seemed to be the one last inconvenience that pushed your temper to the extreme.
It's like Wendell's axe has a mind of its own.
Yeah, and when you randomly attacked
Yeah,
Bildrace,
exactly.
Boren tried to stop you,
Thank you.
and you dashed outside, looking for some sort of animal, I guess,
Yeah.
to feed this axe.
Dashed outside. It's like the axe is pulling Wendell.
The animal hunt didn't exactly roll out as planned. Instead, the next being you saw was a previous encounter of yours.
Yes.
The old lady selling pies.
The pie
Pies.
lady.
But this time, she was dragging a crying little boy behind her.
Oh, the boy.
Right. I attacked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. But you were able to de-escalate the situation with the shopkeepers, and you slayed Morgantha.
Yeah.
And the young boy you saved took you to his home, where you found his parents, blissed out on a bed, pastry crumbs everywhere.
Those addicts were on the pies. On the pies.
Yeah.
The pies.
They traded their child in exchange for dream pastries.
Pies.
dark.
Pies.
Junkies looking for an escape.
Yeah, man. Chasing that dragon, man.
You shook them awake and did your best to try and convince them to take their child back and change their ways. And they did.
Yeah. I mean...
But you're learning more and more about this place. That it's just so heavy with dread and sorrow.
Yeah.
You guys wake up in this decrepit shack of a house to the lonely sounds of the mists outside.
Boren, I feel like I didn't even really get a good sleep.
Yeah, you wake up and it's hard to even tell that it's morning time just because of all the shutters being kind of blocked up, and the bed is, maybe half filled with some sort of comforting and feathers, and it's kind of damp in here.
How do people live like this, Boren?
We're not from here, friend. We shouldn't judge. These people are obviously trying to only make it through one night at a time, as we are.
It's a lot different than the farm that I'm from.
Yes. Tell me more about the farm you're from. We don't know much about it.
It's a beautiful place, really. Shining plains. Glows orange year-round, reflecting that orange sun. I don't think I can ever go back there, Boren.
Why is that?
I did something real bad. See, it was about a few months ago. And there was a real dry season for us down there in the south. Experiencing a bit of a drought. So we all were kind of itching for some rain. Fields are dry. One night, heard some roaring above in the sky. It was some dark clouds rolling overhead, and I thought, okay, our prayers have been answered. Went outside to watch the downpour, but There was no rain, just black, awful-looking clouds. I didn't like the look of them, so I just threw my fist up and I started cursing at them to give me some rain. I don't know what came over me. I just sort of lost some patience and I just shouted at the sky like a crazy old goat. Well, boom, thunder, lightning. Huge bolt comes down and crashes on the stump that I cut my wood on, and my wood axe comes flying through the air at me at a gazillion horses a second.
My word.
I can't believe I even dodged it, and it just stuck right there in my cabin, right next to me. Looked like it was sort of pulsing a little bit with this blue lightning. I thought it was just an anomaly, you know? Hell, I've seen lightning strike a fella. But then, something pulled me to that axe. The axe I built myself, I'd known my whole life. Just a simple little axe, done me well. Grabbed a hold of it, but this time it was different. Something got inside me. Haven't really been able to part with it since, because when I grabbed a hold of it, it wasn't till moments later I started to feel something was wrong with it. I felt like the blade was like a part of me, and its clean, untouched blade was giving me so much pain and discomfort, and I didn't know what to do, and I just paced around for a while. I tried to get rid of it, but I couldn't part with it. And then sort of blacked out a little, and, well, my body just sort of took over. I went waltzing across the field, and I just walked and walked with the clouds above me. Still no rain, just shadow above. And I walked into my neighbor's farm, a couple fields over. Went into their house. And I knew them my whole life, and I cut them all down. And I walked back, and I felt that rain come down. But it didn't wash the blood off my blade. It stayed dirty, stayed bloody, and I liked it like that. The next morning, I sort of came to, and I couldn't really get over what I had done. Knock at the door, and my neighbor was there. I had to go. They knew what I'd done. I had to just leave. I knew what I'd become. Something about this blade was getting me to feed it violence. Awful, brutal violence. So I left. Exiled. Fugitive. Tried to avoid people ever since. That's why I want to just earn some coin and get enough to live alone my final years. Off the land. Guess I'm cursed.
Boren's kind of looking at you dead in the eye while you tell him the story. And he gets up. You, son, are a murderer. Had I known that, I don't think I would have entered this land with you. And Boren gets up and just leaves the room.
Wendell's just looking down at the floorboards.
Boren starts getting his stuff together silently in his own bed. Returns to the living room and talks.
The mother of the child has kind of snapped out of her trance, out of her stupor, and she's realizing, the reality of what she's done, and she's holding her kid and just crying and apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did this.
You should be. There's an evil in this town. And you did give up your son to that. Change your ways, or your family will break down.
She just cries. She goes, "You don't know what it's like here. I promise I won't do it again."
Boren, I think these people have had enough of our company.
Boren kind of huffs. We must be on our way. We have a task that needs doing. Thank you for the shelter. We won't be back. And he looks at the boy. Says, "Boy, you're ever in trouble again, try and find me." And he just saunters out.
The boy nods knowingly, and he's just grasping this little teddy bear. And as you guys make your way outside your abode,
So I guess we're walking slowly towards this death house because we're in this predicament whether we
whether we like it or not.
know each
Stuck
other
here.
or not, or
Yeah.
accept each other.
What do we
Yeah.
see? What kind of day is it when we step out?
it is probably the mistiest day you've ever seen. You can see a road to the east, a little bit up to the north, and pretty much anything south or west is blocked almost entirely in a thick fog.
Okay, I want to say this, and I've been thinking about it. You know, Boren being a military man, it's always very much based on time of day and where you are, northeast, southwest. So he's been taking a sort of mental map of where he's placed himself, from the first house that he's been to the Blood and the Vine, to the chapel, to this. So he sort of steps out and gets his bearings, looks at the street, tries to figure out, all right, where are we going? The death house was this way. Let's try this way.
All right.
He starts walking.
So the path that you presume is the death house, it's actually the most lit up path as well. As you walk by it, you do see the Blood of the Vine Tavern, and you kind of recall the Vistani woman saying that death house is, north of here a few blocks, and then kind of just outside the city. It's almost like a mansion on the hill type of thing.
Right.
I guess that must be it.
Aye, looks like it.
Boren, I know we're sort of stuck in this predicament together, but I just want to let you know you can trust me.
No words. We keep walking.
Right. Sounds good.
Boren keeps walking.
Get towards...
So
Boren just stops for a second.
Boren, we got to keep moving. I'm looking up at the moon.
yeah, the moon looks like it's a few phases away from full.
You remember what the Vistani women said, right? We can get our wounds looked at if we take care of this situation. I think we should do it before the full moon.
I think you're right.
Okay, that's the words I'm saying.
All right. We need to talk to this lady.
Yeah, we do.
Lady Mira.
Madame Eva.
Madame Eva.
Madame Eva, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It's the same person that Stanomir told you about.
That's right.
Basically, essentially, one of the reasons he brought you here in the first place, but you guys have no idea where she is.
Okay.
And these Vistani women,
Do.
the owners of the Blood and the Vine.
They said they would help us.
Okay. So what does this death house look like as I sort of get right up to it?
It looks just like an old Gothic manor. It's fairly tall. Looks like it's at least 2 stories. It's very slender. I guess like a Victorian Toronto building almost.
Cool.
But it's very white, and it's got kind of black shutters. And the house looks like it's in pretty good condition compared to the rest of Barovia. It looks very well maintained.
Boren goes and spits this Louis, and then goes,
Give me a moment.
and he sits down and he uses his divine sense. So until the end of my next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. So it's not, you know what? Actually, that's a bad thing to do because it's all in the house. Everything would be in the house, so I can't really.
So it is behind total cover.
Yeah.
Let's go up and kind of like be somewhere. I'm going to use my mage hand to go and knock on the door while we hide out of sight from the front door. I just want to see what happens with a good knock on the front door. Send my mage hand out in a shadowy blackness. It travels across in front of me, and then
Yeah, we're kind of hidden behind the corner.
Yeah, there's some bushes that you can totally hide in.
some bushes.
Doing that.
and then
And
Boris squeezes his axe, readying.
about 10, 15 seconds go by. It's completely silent.
okay. I'm gonna go up and look inside one of the windows to the right.
Be careful, boy. You don't want to be saving your ass again.
So the window to the right, from what you can see, looks like a room with all kind of wooden wall, like oaken panels. There's also a kind of beautiful fireplace. And over it, there's the head of a stag. It almost looks like a hunter's room. And you also see 4 stuffed wolves. And you're just kind of making it out, the best you can, but
It looks nice though, and like lived in, a little better than what we just came from,
it does look lived in. Everything about this house so far looks pretty nice.
and normal.
Wendell,
What?
what do you see?
Looks like a normal house. Pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, you guys can see why the Vistani women might be interested in this as a new property.
Probably would be a good place to set up a bar.
I could see why the Vistani women could see this as a nice new property.
What did I just say?
You're right.
Well, I said that
I'm
as
being
well.
redundant. I'm sorry. I'm gonna open the door.
Wait, Boren.
I just smash on the door.
Open up! Anyone home?
What you see before you is, once again, very well maintained. There's even an oil lamp kind of lit. And it's this hallway that's fairly narrow. And there's a little coat rack at the side. You see a mirror. You see a bunch of family pictures. One of the family you can see has an engraving that says the Durst family. And it's a husband and wife, a human. And they seem to have a few daughters with them. And then at the end of this hallway is another door.
It's quite affluent, this house. I can see why the Vistani women want it.
Yeah, but doesn't really seem too deathy.
Not yet.
Boren just starts sort of walking around, just taking his time, looking. Is there like a living room? Does he see furniture?
So it's a narrow hall
Yeah.
with nothing, just another door up front.
So we open the door to this house, and there's just a hallway and another door at the end.
Yeah, you can look around. There's family photographs. And
You mean look
the
to
Durst
our right
family.
and left in this hallway on the walls?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How long is this hallway?
20 feet.
And how long is the house to the end?
It's pretty big. How about 100, 120 feet?
Okay, so this is like a sort of vestibule
Okay.
kind of.
Yeah, you would. It's not taking up a big.
I'm gonna take one of the pictures off the wall.
You take it off the wall,
Just take a look at it. Yeah.
and you're just getting a better idea of what these people look like, what the family looks like. Warren, as you actually walk by, you take a look in the mirror that's hung up, and when you see yourself, you look like you've aged quite a bit.
By Moradin's beard. Look at myself. Ugh.
I kind of huff it off and keep going to the door.
Okay.
Boren, this looks like a regular old fam jam here.
Look, I'm don't feel good about an empty house, singularly on a hill that a bunch of Vistani women told us is called the Death House.
Yeah, well,
I think we could just walk through this place like it's a bloody playground. Keep your wits about you.
alright. So we're gonna go to the door and...
So as you creak open the next door, to the right of you, you see a spiral staircase going upstairs.
Well, this is annoying. Door after bloody door. This place should be called the Door House, not the Death House.
Boren, there's been, like, 2 doors. Like, we
Yeah.
went through 1 door, and now there's just 2 more.
Oh, well, that's too many. You know, dwarven houses, we don't have doors, we have openings.
Alright, I'm gonna go
We
and
allowed our
open up the
brethren
one on
to-
the right.
Are you listening to me? I'm talking to you.
And look inside.
Yeah, so as you open the door to the right, it's the door that you saw through the windows with the wolves. You can see it's an oak-paneled room. It looks like a hunter's den. Mounted above the fireplace is a stag's head, and positioned around the outskirts of the room are 3 stuffed wolves. There are 2 padded chairs, draped in animal furs, and an oak table between them, supporting a cask of wine, 2 carved wooden goblets, a pipe rack, and a candelabra.
Were they expecting 2?
What you find in here? What is it? This place is rather well tailored
Yeah.
for an empty house.
And look at this.
What's that?
Picks up one of the goblets.
Hey, don't touch that.
Oh, it's 2 goblets and wine, and everyone in this town seems to expect us. What are we, guests of this death house?
Well, I don't trust anyone or any place in this godforsaken land.
You've made that evidently clear.
Let's
Boren.
get rid of what's in here and get out.
I'm gonna take a look around, take a nice, good, rolling look around. Just a 9.
So as you investigate, you start, kind of moving things around, looking for trapdoors. That's what you're looking for.
Looking at
Secrets.
the fireplace a little bit, looking at the wolves.
You can tell from the fireplace that it was probably recently used.
They just had a fire here.
I can smell that.
What sort of death house has a fresh fire burning in the fireplace?
Not a legit one.
One thing you also you catch just right out of the corner of your eye, and you're really not sure if you're seeing what you're seeing. But the 3 stuffed wolves in the room, to you, one of them has moved.
Wait,
What?
give me a moment.
And Boren falls to his knees
Oh my God.
and puts his thumb and his pinky together and starts going,
By the divine light, may the divine light run through the fingers of morning.
Boren.
and I use my divine senses. And
Boren.
now I pulse to see. It's like to me, feels like I'm pulsing out.
Shit,
I
Boren.
use my divine senses to find out in a 60-foot radius if there's any undead fiend
What is that?
or celestial.
You sense undead within your radius.
Jeez, Boren, you're taking your prayer to the next level. We got a job to do.
I go, hey, you got any of those fancy weapons handy? You might want to take 'em out.
I cycle through a few. What do you like?
I would say, prep your morning star, friend.
When you see the morning star kind of whipping its little ball and chain around, kind of like almost giving off a little bit of shadowy particles as it flips.
So I know it's an undead. This is what my divine. Senses are giving me.
Within your spell radius,
Yeah.
you have detected undead.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck this place. Wendell starts kind of like hitting a couple things. He smashes the goblet off the table. He kind of like hits it into the couch.
And Boren walks up to one of the wolves. How many wolves?
Come on, Boren.
You said? 3.
Let's get someone's attention. They're wasting a lot of our
He
time.
looks at one of these wolves, and with the butt of his axe, he just kind of pops one on the nose.
As you do it, its nose kind of pops in, and a little bit of stuffing comes out.
You can do better than that, Boren.
He steps to the next one.
Something about those wolves got you
And he
up.
raises his axe, and he, with the butt of his axe, he conks it on the top of his head.
Once again, you're just beating this kind of taxidermied.
There's more stuff in this room than the wolves, Boren. And Wendell takes another kind of swipe at the table and knocks over a couple candles and stuff.
And then Boren goes, all right. On his way out, he turns, and he just lops the last wolf's head off with his axe.
Its head comes clean off. You can see the stuffing kind of rolling out. Its marble eyes just kind of almost keep an eye on you the whole time as its head rolls away.
All right, so we walk outside of that room into the other room with the spiral staircase.
Yep, you got the spiral staircase to your right, and then right in front of you, you have another doorway.
Why don't we just do this? Take my mage hand, open up the door,
Right.
with us sort of kind of using the spiral staircase as a little bit. I'm going to conjure a bow.
Okay, so you're just kind of seeking cover behind this spiral staircase and kind of opening this door.
With my mage hand.
Right.
Yeah.
So your skeletal mage hand, which does not look like it normally does,
Right.
has reached across. It turns the knob of the door. It kind of creaks open, and you hear laughter. It sounds like there's some kind of dinner party going on. You can't see into the room.
Well, to use your words, this is fucked.
Have I said that?
Well, you've said the fuck word
Oh,
many
that's
times.
right. You don't curse.
I'm not a man of a curse word.
You know, it's funny.
Coming from someone who knows curses rather well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Have we kind of cooled off a little bit on that? Have you conjured up any compassion for my situation?
There'll be a time and a place to talk about that.
I can't rush you on something like that.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I don't take kindly to murder because I know it all too well.
And then I walk really, really close to Boren, and I look down at him, and I say, you better help me lift this curse, because before this curse ends, there's going to be a whole lot more murder that you're going to see. So you got to make a choice. You either help me, or God damn it.
Boren puts a thumb to one of his nostrils and goes, and empties one nostril, just a bunch of dwarven snot spits.
Enough talk.
More animalistic qualities are coming. His beard's a bit, it's not well kept. You know, his braids are kind of coming undone.
Let's get this
Yeah,
over
and at this
with.
point, even though I've put that breastplate on, I still have my robes on, and I look like an old man who escaped a hospital sort of situation.
So Boren and Wendell creep further towards the door.
And with my axe, just kind of open the door a bit further.
As soon as you kind of push yourself into it, you no longer hear any voices. What you can see is a table, a long oaken table set with tons of delicious food. There's pheasant, there's fruits, there's apples. It's a whole entire feast set on this silverware. You have entered a dining room.
But it sounded like the voices were coming from that, like, right in that room.
They were definitely coming from this room.
And how are my divine
And you can
senses
hear the
feeling
clinking of plates.
But it's
and-
all ceased when we enter. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Didn't mean to interrupt the party.
And there's no one in there.
No.
Boren, did you just hear...
But there is fresh food, a huge platter.
I could have sworn that this room was full of merry company.
I heard it too. Do you smell this food?
Smells... I gotta admit, Boren, I'm tempted to go hog wild on some of this food.
So am I. But no.
What?
No, we can't.
Well, why?
Look, this place is cursed.
You know, the last time I ate something, I had a pretty good time.
Not from what I saw. You blacked out, friend. I carried you halfway to where we were going.
Oh, I was flying above with the flowers back in Faerun.
From where you were, from where I was, you were a limp body being dragged around like a rug.
And I throw down the little piece of mutton that I had in my hand, throw it back on the table.
Trust me on this one, boy. I don't feel right in this place.
And Boren kind of goes up to the food on the table and just kind of pushes it with his axe. His axe has become kind of like extension of his arm, and he's using it to knock things
So what are you
over.
poking just like a
Wine
turkey and
goblets,
wine
and
goblets?
pushing the turkey. And
So as soon as you push over this wine goblet, just maggots start crawling out of where the wine would be and spilling all around.
Oh, what the?
All of a sudden, this food
disgusting.
is completely putrid, rotten.
What the?
This is disgusting. Get out, boy. Let's get out of here. Ah, go.
Am I going crazy?
This is sick. Come on.
I kick over the table. I use my huge dwarven boot to just kick the table over.
So as soon as you kick it over, all of a sudden you kind of hear a screaming. It's very faint, and you're not sure where it's coming from.
And Boren looks around.
Yeah, we stop in silence.
You hear that?
Yeah.
I think this is the tenant that needs its eviction notice.
Ah, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
How about you each roll an insight check? See if we can identify where this scream is coming from.
18. I got 14.
The screams may or may not be undead. Something you sense within your radius is.
Okay.
And the screaming you get a sense of it's beneath you. The sounds you're hearing that Wendell's hearing is coming from
So
below.
Wendell gets down low on the ground. He kind of puts his ear to the wood.
Yeah, it sounds actually like a baby crying.
Oh my God.
A baby.
There's only one way to go left.
Just up this spiral staircase.
So we stand at the bottom of the staircase and I guess start to make our way up.
So as you curl and curl, you spire up. What's your marching order?
I guess.
I'll lead. Boren
Wow.
goes first.
Boren goes first. As soon as you get to the top of the stairs, you're facing a wall now. On this wall, there's still a lot of decorative stuff, still a lot of family photos. To the right of you is a door, and to the left of you, to the right of you is an open door, and to the left of you is another door. There's a coat rack, and there's also a suit of armor, a very nice looking suit of armor hanging on the walls.
More doors. I'm telling you, this place is filled with doors.
Typically, Boren, houses are filled with doors.
Not where I come from.
Boren peeks inside the door that's already open.
So as soon as you walk forward, the armor on the wall is shaking, and it has come out and it has taken a lunge at you, and it's attempting to push you over the balcony.
Boren! Roll initiative?
Yeah.
15.
That's crazy. I just rolled the same.
Goddamn. Okay, but before that, you're gonna take 2 shoves from this armor that's become animated. That's an 18 to hit.
Miss.
He's gonna try and shove you again.
And Boren's just straight in the ground. He's got his...
That's a 20.
Oh! Wow.
So you have to do a strength contest.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're going to
thought
be thrown back over the railing.
24.
Okay, so this armor goes to push you. You kind of grab yourself before the railing. Put yourself up and stop yourself from plummeting to the first floor of the death house.
Wendell! Give me a hand, mate!
Okay, Wendell, your turn.
I'm going to attack with my, I guess I was holding on to a Morning Star, so I should roll that.
Yeah, it's 1d8, I believe.
Yep. So first attack, 16.
Miss.
Second attack is going to be a 19.
That is a hit.
That's going to be an 11 damage.
So that's a pretty good blow. You bludgeoned a big chunk out of the shoulder of this plate, this armor, and it's just a whole little piece that's falling right off the ground.
Bing! Whipping this shadowy morning star around. All right.
Boren, your turn for redemption as you just kind of teeter back to get yourself a good balance. You got your stance. You're grabbing your axe. This thing almost pushed you off a couple stories.
Okay, I'm rolling my extra attack at the same time. 2 rolls.
Nice. He's well loaded with the die.
They both miss.
Looks like you were still a bit out of balance and taken aback by that.
From that, though, I would like to use my bonus action to cast a Thunderous Smite.
But that won't happen until next turn.
Next turn, that's right.
Okay.
And that is just a vocal spell. So I start reading. By the gods of thunder, may you bless my axe so that I may strike upon down with the strength of all the rain and rage the clouds. And my axe just starts to buzz with lightning and snap and crackle.
This kind of gives a little bit of a trigger to Wendell as he just told you that story. And watching your axe being at the center of attention of a big storm sort of makes my eyes kind of light up, and I sort of but then shake it off and realize that you're in danger. And is it my turn? No, it's probably this thing's turn.
Yep. So the armor's gonna take a swipe at Wendell. 2 swipes with its kind of floating gauntlets. One is a 19. Mm-hmm. You take 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And the next is a 16. So 2 pretty big Mike Tyson punches. A couple of haymakers with these kind of floating
Big
gauntlets.
bludgeon and plate bashes to the face.
Yeah.
You motherfucker! Oh! So I'm going to take my Morning Star, attack with advantage. It's going to hit. It's going to be 8 for the first.
Yep.
And I'm going to come back with the backhand.
You get advantage on that too, eh?
Yeah. Okay, well, I missed.
Big swipe, but the first one hits. Taking another big chunk out of it. Big spark comes. But this kind of this armor is just still kind of floating and feeling thrashy.
This piece of shit arm. Oh!
Watch your words, Sonny. My turn.
Okay, I'm rolling them one at a time because I'm adding the thunderous damage, which is an extra 2d6 for each swipe.
All right, let's hope you hit. AC's 18. So you do it.
Plus 8, 20.
That's a hit. That's a thunderous hit.
Oh, great. And that is 16 damage for the first one. Also,
16 damage?
16 damage.
Describe it.
Oh,
It just had 16.
as I smash this thing down, all this thunder kind of comes out of nowhere, and all this lightning comes out of nowhere and goes into it, and then pushes it out, and it kind of smashes around the hallway.
Shrapnel like digs into the wooden panels every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Still kind of hot, smoking.
My axe is in the ground after, in the wood of the house, and it's kind of
Stuck in the
smoldering.
floorboards.
And there's a big thunderous boom.
Wait, Boren, don't touch your axe. What if it's happening to you too?
What's that?
The curse.
I'm not cursed. I would know it.
And he kind of pulls up on his axe, pushes down on it, and then pulls it up again.
Pulls it out.
Wendell's in sort of wide-eyed in amazement.
I know what I'm doing.
Boren, you gotta understand. As he's sort of recovering from a couple of these hits that he took. Up until a couple months ago, I haven't seen a whole lot in my life. I've been a simple farmer.
Yeah, I see that.
That's true, Boren. Up until this lightning struck my damn axe, my life has been pretty simple.
Yes, and apparently your life has turned into a murderous life.
And then Wendell kind of turns away and really hurts him now because he's sort of got a little bit scared seeing all this stuff. And he looks down at his feet and he says,
Maybe this is where I should stay and join the death house.
Boren, he's huffing and puffing after this. He's thinking back to something. And he goes,
Wendell, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
and he's breathing very heavy.
This place is like knots in my bones, vinegar in my vein, air in my blood. I don't belong here. But when I am here, something dark grows in me, and I do not like it. Let's keep moving, boy.